Hey, welcome back to the channel, everybody. So it is August 21st, just about 10:30. Temperatures around 80 degrees with the heat index. It's about 87 because the humidity is hovering right around 91%. We've had some rain come through, which is very typical for this time of year, and so is the humidity. So hey, I'm out here in the bee yard again just for my weekly routine of checking the hive feeders, topping them off with some sugar water, and calling it a day. I got into the hives last week and conducted a thorough inspection. I think I titled that video In-Depth Inspection or something. Feel free to check it out. It's a little bit of a longer video, but some of the hives are looking extremely nice, like solid brood frames, beautiful queens, found a queen, marked her. So overall, it was a good weekly inspection. So something else I'm gonna share with y'all this week is I've been feeding my bees not the typical one-to-one feed this time of year. I've actually been feeding them a little thinner, and I got that idea from one of the gentlemen from the bee club, and coincidentally I stumbled across Bob Binney's video last night that posted about 2 weeks ago, and that's titled The Chemistry of Feeding Bees. One, he's an extremely knowledgeable beekeeper, and he shares a lot of very good information. And not to give too much away, but part of his video, he talks about a study that was conducted by some Indian beekeepers who discovered by feeding colonies thinner feed, so thinner than 1-to-1, the brood production went through the roof. So I'll link part of that video in this video here, maybe towards the end. And I'll also link the description, or I'm sorry, I'll link the video in the description below. So that's it for the introduction this week. Come join me. Another quick, basically just pop some tops, slide some boxes over, check the feeders, top them off with sugar water, and call it a day. And I'd say beat the heat, but it's really just trying to get out of the humidity. So thanks for watching, everybody. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. We appreciate everybody that does subscribe, that remains a subscriber. Our channel is relatively small. I think we're hovering around 1.1 thousand subscribers, which is totally fine. But again, we'd like to see that number hit 10,000 and keep on going. Check us out on Instagram, which that page is taken off lately. It's absolutely amazing. Our Facebook, if you stumble across that, because I do have the link still in the banner on YouTube, if you do go to our Facebook, don't be surprised that you don't see any content past mid-August of 2021. The reason for that is because our page was hacked, we lost access, and it's been very difficult to try to get access back, which is why all content posting has stopped in the last year. So if you happen to be some kind of technical whiz and you know how to regain administrative access to a Facebook page, a business page, please feel free to make that comment below, reach out to us on Instagram, DM us, whatever. Really need some help with that. But enough of that. Let's go check out the hives, top them off with some feed, and call it a day. All right, finishing up this week by getting into hive number 3, mainly the top box for the same reasons from the previous 2 to 3 weeks. They have a few frames of honey. Well, they have a few frames that I'm hoping are capped and ready to harvest. I've been chasing this since July 31st, I think. So let's see if the frames in the top box are any closer to being ready. So hopefully this is a relatively just quick look. I think it's about the middle frames. Alright, let's just pull the middle frame and see what we have going on. Not so much on that side. There's a few cells. Yeah, nothing. So, well, I don't say nothing. Capped honey, nectar. So they're still bringing in food because I'm not feeding them at all since I'm trying to harvest some honey. Same thing on that side. I think these frames are what I was primarily focused on or been focusing on. Yeah, these cells are wet, so I'm assuming they're still bringing in food from somewhere, but not exactly. Yeah, you can't really harvest that, so it's unfortunate. I was hoping to get a few more pounds out of this hive, but it looks like that is just not gonna happen, and the colony's better off with the food than me taking it. But if the frames were full, I was definitely gonna take a few more, but I'll leave it for them.
Okay, this slide is the beginning of 2 slides. This is the introduction. This is a very interesting study to me done in India of all places. And they're going to talk about these different concentrations of sugar and what they do to the brood in a colony. You might get asked the question, do you feed 1-to-1 or 2-to-1? Thicker being 2 parts sugar to 1 part water. That's what a lot of people are taught by almost every bee book I've ever read. That's what you need to feed in the fall to prepare your colonies for winter. We're offering a little bit different idea here. And then you can see the other concentrations that they're going to show in this study. This is a 24-page research study, by the way, that I'm only going to show you 2 pages of. So keep that in mind, and I'm just going to try to explain the high points here. They did this study during a dearth, which we're kind of in right now. Okay, I'm going to explain this one to you. I hope you can all see it. If you look closely at this, what they're talking about is the percentage of brood on a given amount of comb covered by the bees. So if you look at T1, that's 1-to-1. You have eggs, larvae, and pupa. If you could add all those numbers together, you're going to be looking at the percent of brood that's underneath your layer of bees. But just go down to these different concentrations as the syrup gets thinner and thinner and thinner. Go all the way to the bottom line, T4, 1 part sugar to 1.3 parts water, and look at those numbers, how they changed. From T1, it was, 5.45% was covered in eggs. Way down here, it's 22.25. They're stating that simply feeding thinner syrup will promote brood production, even in a dearth, and the thinner, almost the thinner, the better. I wish they would have went even thinner than this, like 1.5, to see what happened there. And I'd also would have liked to seen it compared to 2-to-1, which is very thick syrup. Looking at the 1-to-1, which we use a lot in our apiary, I would have to surmise that 2-to-1 would have very little effect in stimulating brood production.
All right, everybody, that concludes this week and my time in the bees. As y'all saw, not much to it, just topping off the feeders. Not very disruptive at all to the colonies. Not much need for smoke. Used it a little bit, but the bees remain pretty calm. I mean, I just slid the top boxes over and topped off the feeder. So that's it. Thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. If you like the video, same thing, hit the thumbs up. Check us out on Instagram at Coles Farm NC. There's a link in the banner. Just click on the Instagram icon and it'll take you right over to our page. If you are in or around the Jacksonville, North Carolina area and you are in need of some delicious local honey, get in touch with us. So again, in the YouTube banner, there's a link for our Square website, which is primarily how we sell honey. Click on that, it'll take you over to the site, of course. Pick a day and a time that works for you. We sell honey by appointments only, so you have to pick a day and a time. You pay through the app, and that's it. You'll pick up your honey from our front porch. We appreciate all the local support, a lot of repeat customers, which means a lot to us. And if you're a new customer, we appreciate you too. So thanks everybody for supporting us over the years through our local honey sales. But yeah, that's it for this week. Tune in next week for another look at the bee yard. See y'all.